Yo, what's poppin', everybody? This is another podcast with Aris P. If you enjoy this, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified for other videos like this one. Thanks in advance, I really appreciate it. This time I'm going to talk about the New York Knicks versus Milwaukee Bucks game that ended a few minutes ago in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the great state of Wisconsin, that is. In Fiserv Forum, the final score was 108 to 119. The Milwaukee Bucks got the win. And of course, firstly, I'd like to congratulate the Milwaukee Bucks for their win. The better team got the win. And that's because I've been saying it over and over again. The New York Knicks are not good enough. They're actually depending on RJ Barrett. They actually think that he's going to become an all-star. Well, personally, I don't know when that's going to happen. But for now, he's definitely not an alpha dog. On the contrary, there are many great American players out there that are much better than he is. But of course, the Knicks fans are insisting on the fact that he's going to become the new James Harden. I mean, come on now. I think that's impossible. Plus, if the Knicks don't bring a superstar to New York, forget about it. Your ceiling is going to be the playoffs, the first round, that is, and that totally sucks. But anyway, the starters for the Milwaukee Bucks were Grayson Allen, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Carter, Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez. On the other hand, the Knicks started off with RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, Evan Fournier, Julius Randle, and of course Robinson. The big man, Mitch. Then the rest of the Bucks roster: Thanasis Antetokounmpo, Beauchamp, Hill, Serge Ibaka, Mamukelashvili, Matthews, Nuora, and Bobby Portis. And the Knicks had Arkidiakono, Hartenstein, McBride, Mihailiuk from Ukraine, Emmanuel Quickley, Cam Reddish, Derrick Rose, Sims and Obi Toppin. Connaughton, Ingles, and Middleton were out for the Bucks, and Grimes was out for the Knicks. But first, let's just take things in chronological order. And then in the end, I'll mention player stats. I remember that in the first quarter, Robinson was marking Giannis Antetokounmpo at the perimeter. Wow, that was a hell of a task. The Knicks were in white and the Bucks were in purple. But basically, I think that with so many Greek Americans living in New York, it would have been better if Giannis Antetokounmpo played for the Knicks and not the Bucks. Plus, Milwaukee's a super cold city. I'm talking about the temperature. Not that New York has ideal weather, but it's still much better, much more, humane in comparison to Milwaukee. No doubt about it. Fournier was missing shots in the first quarter. Of course, Giannis started off red hot along with Carter. I remember the score was 8-1. The Knicks just scored a free throw. Giannis blocked Randle easily with his great mid-post positioning. But then, the Frenchman, Evan Fournier, or actually Evan Fournier, started portraying his catch-and-shoot abilities. I like how he's promised to join Olympiacos at some point. Let's see. Hopefully in the near future, even though he makes $29 million per year. And he's fourth in three-pointers in the whole NBA. He actually holds a record for the most three-pointers scored. He drained 10 three-pointers back in January 6th, 2022, against the Celtics in New York, in Madison Square Garden, at home. So, okay, his three-pointers helped the Knicks tonight. Then we had Portis, who was knocking down mid-range buckets for the Bucks. Robinson got rejected by Brook Lopez. I'm not a fan of Brook Lopez because he sucked when he represented our great nation several years ago. You know, Team USA. Drew Holiday was playing amazing perimeter defense, as usual. I consider him one of the greatest on the planet when it comes to that. Jalen Brunson is contributing already, but okay, tonight he wasn't that good. But otherwise, he's good at assists and, of course, at scoring. But I think he's too short for modern day basketball. Then the Knicks increased their pace, fast breaks, but they were missing free throws. Too many, I'd say. They had Robinson, Toppin, Cam Reddish, a lot of athleticism. But then Giannis dunked, and his brother went crazy on the bench. Then I remember Emmanuel quickly knocked down 2 3-pointers in a row. So the first quarter ended 24-26 with a buzzer beater from Portis, who actually got the offensive rebound and scored easily. The Knicks were ahead only once in the first quarter, and then that was it. Then in the second quarter, Grayson Allen started off on fire, along with Antetokounmpo, of course. He was scoring and one all the time. Robinson was committing the fouls, and of course that was making Antetokounmpo's life easier with some easy alley-oops. And then Carter, who's also a sharpshooter for the Bucks, was amazing as well. The Knicks were trying to play transition basketball. They were trying to take advantage of Obi Toppin's abilities, but Hartenstein and Reddish weren't helping at all. They came off the bench and they didn't do anything for the team. They were missing their shots. They had a horrible night. Quickly usually does his thing from the perimeter, but he also scored an amazing layup and one, from what I can recall. You just gotta love Drew Holiday's old school style when he penetrates. Then Brook Lopez committed 2 defensive 3-second violations in the second quarter. It happened twice. That shows that he's actually a slow player. He's too slow for the NBA. But he still gets the job done for the Bucks. The Knicks weren't allowing the Bucks to get into the paint, and with Antetokounmpo on the bench resting, that task was much easier. Then Tom Thibodeau challenged the call by the referees, but it was unsuccessful. So the Bucks increased their lead in the end of the second quarter, thanks to a 6-0 run. Giannis destroyed Hartenstein with a Eurostep and one. Back-to-back 40 points by the Greek-Nigerian player. Even though tonight he scored less, he's still the man. And it's funny how R.J. Barrett is the first rookie to extend his contract with the Knicks since Charlie Ward back in 1999. And that's a long time ago. We're talking 23 years ago. That's totally insane. At halftime, the score ended 53-59. The Milwaukee Bucks were ahead, with Jalen Brunson scoring an amazing buzzer beater, but it didn't count. And it was actually in Serge Ibaka's face. And Serge Ibaka is a big guy. Then in the third quarter, Antetokounmpo started by serving a dish to Drew Holiday. They actually flipped the script. Grayson Allen was unstoppable with his 3-pointers. He just couldn't miss. Both teams were on a roll. The third quarter was very fast-paced with 3-pointers from Drew Holiday, Jalen Brunson, etc. But the Knicks couldn't handle it, so they were left behind. Grayson Allen with his long-range threes was amazing, no nonsense. The spacing by the Bucks was also amazing. Bobby Portis was dominating with his offensive boards. On the other hand, the Knicks couldn't even buy a bucket. Then Tom Thibodeau put Derrick Rose into the game. He came off the bench, but he couldn't contribute. It was too late. And then Grayson Allen missed his first shot in the game from mid-range a few seconds before the end of the third quarter, which ended 85-96. The Bucks were in the lead. And that was because the Bucks were ahead with 24 points, but then the Knicks had a 19-6 run. And then in the fourth quarter, the Bucks concluded the job. They got it done. Carter portrayed how good he is at stealing the ball. He was all over Derrick Rose. Grayson Allen even scored a circus shot and won. He wasn't even looking at the rim. That was crazy. Then Quickly was aggressive. He was actually improved as a player from what I saw by his hard work. I mean, he has definitely improved. And I'm actually happy for him. But other than that, I'm not happy at all for the Knicks, the team that represents my hometown. Then in the fourth quarter, all the Bucks did was just make sure that they got the W because they have a tough schedule ahead of them. RJ Barrett was missing free throws. Of course, that was pissing me off. And like 6 or 7 minutes before the end of the game, it was obvious that the Knicks just gave up. Then we saw Robinson block Lopez with both hands. That was a volleyball block. But then Lopez blocked Julius Randle in his face. So we got to see a lot of nice highlights. And it's always a pleasure to watch an NBA game. So these NBA podcasts will be occasional on the channel. So let's see how the rest of the season goes. And there's no doubt about the fact that I personally enjoy watching NBA basketball and not EuroLeague basketball. But I have to watch it because I support a team in Greece, fanatically. So it is what it is. Anyway, it's a wrap. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. So y'all take care. I'm out. Peace.